I'm back with another custom Javelin build. I'm sure it is. So before we get into all the cool details about this bike, I do want to go over the standards of the Javelin, just in case this is your first time seeing it. So the Javelin falls into the motor-driven cycle category. So in most states, you don't need a motorcycle license. It's just a regular driver's license. Most states, you don't need to register it. Keep in mind, it's in that motor-driven cycle category. It's considered a moped. It's not designed for riding on the highway, but it is able to hit higher speeds. So out of the box, the bike does about 35 in its lower mode, and then it will do about 55 in its higher mode. So how does it do that? Well, let's get into the specs and talk about what's on the bike. Starting in the back here is a 4,000 watt direct drive motor with a 4T winding. It's a really nice balance between torque and high speed. We've done a lot of different testing with motors, and this is one that we just really love. You can, of course, swap this motor out if you want. We use all non-proprietary things, so if you wanted to, you could drop that, get a different QS motor, put it in there, and you would be good to go. We add these spools on the back so that you can stand the bike up on a motorcycle spool stand. This will elevate it, which is really great for doing calibrating and testing and things on the bike. It has these steel reinforcements in the back here to handle this torque. Even though this looks like fairly thin metal, it is extremely tough. It is equal to about a 1-inch thick piece of aluminum. As we move up the bike, there is a bash guard on the front here, which is helping protect what's down below here, and that's a Far Driver ND72360 controller. It's totally open source, so if you open up your phone and you create a login, you can get in and you can adjust the parameters. Now, we do send the bike out how we like it and how we think it's going to last the longest, but if you want to do things like modify the torque curves and things like that, that's going to be up to you. But I would recommend that you stay away from increasing the top end RPMs of this bike if possible, and try to avoid messing with things like the line current and stuff that will adjust the battery. However, if you ever want to down the future, you could get a custom battery and you could get a custom motor and things like that, and that Far Driver is more than capable of handling more powerful motors than what is on this bike. So it's kind of future-proofing this thing for you guys to upgrade it down the line. On the wheels, you're going to find dual motorcycle brakes. So we got one in the front and we got one in the back. Now, this is very uncommon in the industry. If you look around right now, you're going to be pretty hard pressed to find anything that's running dual motorcycle brakes or motorcycle brakes at all. Most people are running just standard e-bike hydraulic brakes and maybe bumping their regen up. We don't do that. We just put good brakes on the bike to start. And we have two different settings. So there's speed 3, which is the higher speed. And then if I change that, it will go over to speed 2, which is the middle mode. If you wanted to, you could update this to be like a back and forth flicking thing to get 3 settings, but generally, people are riding in the higher speed or in the middle speed. On the handlebars here, we have our twist throttle, which is really great. If you don't like this style, there's a million options out there. We've even put a thumb throttle on this bike for a customer. It's really up to you. We can customize it to whatever you want, guys. There's a push button right here, and this push button will activate a reverse if you have your bike at a complete stop. Now, if you hit that reverse button while going, all it's going to show is a P there, and you're just not going to send power. So this is, a really handy feature if you're backing into a spot. Or if you switch it to the other setting, it's going to put it into a cruise control, which is pretty handy. It's a little bit difficult to get used to using a cruise control on like a motorbike. It's a little bit different than on a car, but generally you're going to hold your throttle, hit that button, and it will lock it. And then if you hit your brake or your throttle again, it will deactivate it. So really handy little feature. But you know what? Let me turn the lights on. So if I turn the lights on using the middle toggle button, you're going to see this whole thing line up. Now this is really important because this one switch turns on all the 12 volts. So that's going to turn on this super bright headlight that has either a yellow output or a white output. Yes, you can hear that sound. Those are some fans going right now. This is our brightest headlight. I know it doesn't look bright because it's only 2 little lights, but it is outrageously bright at nighttime. If you want something that is going to give you great visibility, I would not even look at any of the other options that we have. Just get this thing, guys. It's crazy. But yeah, now you can see the 12 volt is on, and that's going to activate my braking functions, which, I mean, your brakes obviously always work without the electrical system, but with the electrical system on, it's going to activate a rear brake light, and it's going to send a signal to your far driver controller that you are stopping, so it won't let you hit that throttle and brake at the same time. So it's really important when you ride that you always keep your lights on, guys. There's plenty of battery on this bike. You know, it's not like a regular e-bike where sometimes people want to turn the lights off because they're worried about saving a mile or so. That's not the case, guys. Just ride with your lights, use your turn signals and your braking lights. Oh yeah, one other thing, this bike has a great horn. It's kind of cool because it actually resonates with the whole frame. So if I do it again, the whole bike resonates. So this thing is super loud. If I open the seat, all you got to do is you just pull this up. Look at that. Now I have a huge storage area, guys. This is enough to fit your charger in here. You could put like a 6-pack in here. It is a huge space. We tried to make it big enough so that if you ever wanted to someday, it would be big enough to hold another battery that's about half this size. Now, we don't make a battery like that, but there are plenty companies just like Powerful Lithium out there that are making batteries, and you know, this might be something to think about down the road. It's a really handy little storage area. You go out, run an errand, you don't have to have a backpack on you. You just put whatever you wanted in right in there. And then there is this clasp right there, so as I close this, it just kind of holds that seat down. Keep in mind when you ride the bike, that's also keeping that seat down. And if you're worried about that battery, there is a 1-inch strap that keeps this thing down. This is rated to like 1,000 pounds. So you got that, plus this whole spacing system that we've developed. And this battery does not go anywhere. It doesn't shake at all. You know, sometimes if you take a look at the earlier videos of our prototypes, you'd hear like a clinking sound. That was the battery. This thing does not move at all. And it's sending power out using this really high quality QS8 connector. You know, that's rated to like way above what we're pushing on this bike. So that connector is going to last a long time. So first off is this color. It is beautiful. This is Area 51 blue. It is the same code as the Ford Bronco Area 51. We actually sourced the paint directly, so it's like a 100% match. I don't know if it really comes through in this video, but in person, it looks perfect. The guys over at BNC Powder Coating did an awesome job with it. You know, normally I'm not crazy about these non-metallic colors, but in this case, it really came together beautifully. This is the old prototype fender. The customer really liked that fender, so he had us run the file again. We laser cut another one and we put it on there. Got the hooligan headlight, which looks great. And then the customer requested that we put brown grips on top, and we use the tracker handlebars to stand this thing up a little bit higher. Moving towards the back, I put that video up quite a few weeks ago about the gold and black bike where we put some heat sinks on there. Well, we actually sourced these for this customer. All right guys, so as always, let's take this thing on the road and see how it does. The setup is a little bit taller than you know, is what's comfortable for me, but it's gonna work just fine. These are those tracker handlebars. Elevates everything up about 5 or 6 inches, which is really nice. Let me turn the lights on. There we go. I can hear those fans turning on. Just my power setting. I'm on a closed road right now, so I'm going to bump it up a little bit. That way you guys can see things and how fast it will go. And we should be good to go.
Watch it all and leave out the back door. Fly the air, drive the cars, don't show your face anymore. I don't care. Watch it all and leave out the back door. Fly the air, drive the cars, don't show your face anymore.
Okay guys, that's how this one came together. We're really excited about it. If you have any ideas that you want to see get built, let me know, because Spark has begun doing some custom builds. I have one in the works right now. It's going to be a purple bike, so keep an eye out. Probably a week from now I'll put out another video about that one. You can also go to our main channel and check out all the other custom builds that we've been doing, or go to sparkcycleworks.com and pre-order your bike. Our production times are about 4 to 6 weeks because these are all custom made, guys. However, if you wanted something sooner, you can check out our custom build section because we are going to start sending those out, within a week after a customer orders one. But all right, thank you guys.